Okay, I'm going to try to do this quick because my battery light just turned on. But, hi, it is Sunday, it's September 24th. And I finally got my craft room cleaned up enough yesterday to actually be able to start the homework. So we're like 3 or 4 days behind when I thought I was going to start it. Because I thought I was going to start it Thursday and it's Sunday. But because I have to change the battery in here, I'm going to do that quick. And then I'm going to kind of show you the setup that I've got going, because I'm doing this a little differently than I did last time. So change the battery really quick and then I'll be back to show you what I've got going. Okay, new battery installed. So we don't have to worry about cutting off for a battery change. So one tip I will give you if you do these crop and create events, the Facebook group, that the private Facebook group that they start is invaluable in a way that it's very difficult to explain, but people are very cool in there and they make you very cool things that can help you stay organized throughout the event and, you know, figure stuff out. A lot of people in there will have done these before, so they have kind of an experience of like what makes life easier, and I swear every time someone's like got something new that makes it even easier than it was the last time, and it's just very helpful. So somebody in the Facebook group this time posted these cover sheets. So last time someone made a list, like a Excel sheet of all the different homeworks and stuff we had to do, and I did use that a lot to work off of. But this time someone made these cover sheets that have the little checklists right on them, which is really nice. So this time is different from the last class I did a year ago. The spring class was formatted like this one too, but I missed that one. Or I didn't participate in that one. So I'm setting myself up a little differently this time. There are classes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I still have to work all day Thursday and Friday. So I'm only going to be home for one class both of those days. So I printed off the cover sheets that these lovely people made. I should look up their name. If I remember to look up their name when I'm editing, I'll just add a note because I don't remember it. But someone in the Facebook group made these really awesome cover sheets for all the classes, which is really cool. And then I like that it has like the homework checklist on the bottom of like all the prep stuff you should do or can do, because I don't always do all of it. But what I did is I sorted them into 2 piles. So this is all the Thursday, Friday classes that I won't be home for and not participating until later, so that I can set those off to the side and not worry about them. So I'm still going to make bags for them, which you'll see in a little bit, just so everything is together and they're easy to grab when I do have a chance to work on them. But they're going to go off to the corner because I'm not going to worry about them right now when I know I don't have a ton of time to be able to get together everything for the classes that I am taking, which are these. So there's one class I'll be home for Thursday night, one class I'll be home for Friday night, and then all the Saturday and Sunday classes, because I have cleared my entire weekend for this next week. So, yeah, that's the plan. So, like, this is going to be the main focus today, is doing the homework for these, but I still have over here, the box is still not organized, so that's probably the first thing on the list, is to get the box organized and set up and ready to go. Oops, I wasn't looking where I was filming. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to put you back on the overhead, I think, and show you a little bit of how I organize the classes and get ready. Hello, Editing Sammy here. This is the first of 2 times you hear from, well, actually 3 times. You'll hear from me 3 times in this video, in editing, voice over me. So I'm just showing you a little bit about how I get prepped for these events. I say the same thing later because I accidentally recorded the second clip first, but it'll be fine. So this part is the first part of getting ready for this event, which is getting everything organized. Post-unboxing event extravaganza. So I have all these zipper pouches, and I basically just start pulling out classes and putting them together. So I use a dry erase marker to label each bag. I usually prefer the red one, but I misplaced my red one at first. So I have this blue one, which I don't like as much. It doesn't show up as well. And then so I couldn't find the red one, and actually I really prefer the black one, but I couldn't find that one, and then I couldn't find the red one, and then I found it, which you can see there. And actually, just post-event comment that I can't find the red one again. I was trying to get ready to do videos in a post Crop and Create vlog world, and I can't find the red marker again. I don't know where it went. So I don't know. I'm back to using the blue one that I don't like so much anymore. But that's cool. Maybe I just need to get some new ones. But yeah, so basically I just take the zipper pouches and I just label them, and with the name of the company of the class. So like the Pink and Main one though is already nice and labeled for me, so all I have to do is slip the cover sheet in, and that one is nice and easy. And I use this Expo spray. I don't think I mentioned this earlier. I use the whiteboard marker spray to clean them off, and a paper towel before I write the new names on, because I didn't clean all of these off from the last event, and some of them had video names on them, so and then now with the addition of the cover sheets, I just add that in there as well. So I'm going to actually leave you here and put some music on while I finish this up for you guys, and it was just meant to give you a quick glimpse into how I prep for the event and get everything ready to go so that it runs smoothly for me. Hello, it's Editing Sammy here to do a voiceover for this next chunk of the video. So this is just me basically doing homework for the event. I put the camera in my overhead camera holder ring light contraption that I have, just to give you an idea of what homework prep sort of looks like for this event. So this is just one class, that's all you're going to see. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I do it and how I break it down to get everything done and prepped. So the homework does take a little bit of time for a lot of the classes. This video is sped up 5 times, and it's also edited. So there's, times where you don't see. I cut out some of the more boring parts, and I took a few breaks as well in between, so it does, just to set expectations properly. So in the last clip you saw that I had printed out those checklist cover sheets. So I just work my way through the checklists basically. So the first step is usually stamps primed, which I usually skip that step. You do it? Yes. Do I do it? Generally, no. The next step would be to cut your dies apart. This class didn't need the dies cut apart. Some of them do, some of them don't. Just depends. Like Lawn Fawn needed theirs cut apart. Brutus Monroe needed theirs cut apart. LDRS, Gina K Designs, they didn't need to be cut. So it just always kind of depends on the class and the manufacturer and what they do on the regular. Then the next step will be to get your card bases ready. So this one had 3, and I just peeked at the instruction book because they actually had cutting the card bases as part of their pre-class prep work. So that part was easy. Then I make little bags like you've seen me do for Kendra's card challenge, and I label them 1, 2, and 3. Some companies in the classes will separate their pre-class prep work by which card is which. This one did. Some won't, so the ones that don't, I'll just put all of the little pieces together in a little bag and then sort them out once the class starts, which that little 3-compartment tray we got in our unboxing, in our boxes this time, was really handy for that. But this class had everything broken down by card, so I was able to just put everything together. And I'm running a little bit behind the video here because the video is so sped up. But the next step is then usually to gather your ink colors. So each company will list their ink colors that they're using in the class. And typically, because this makes sense, it's the colors of their company. But this time they actually added color swatches to the book, which is really nice, so you could compare with what you had at home. And usually a lot of times people will, in the Facebook group that I had mentioned earlier, add comparisons to other brands. So my ink is pretty much exclusively Gina K Designs and Tim Holtz Distress Ink. And someone, for me, luckily did all of the work for me and figured out the list of Gina K colors that you needed for each class. And I don't usually pull the cubes out because sometimes there's overlapping colors and I want to be able to find them. So this time I just wrote on the cover sheet. This is the first time I've done the cover sheets too. That was a new trial for me as well, and I actually really liked it. So probably will do it again next time, assuming someone does the work of putting them together for me, though. I am not sure it's something I'd have the time or drive to do on my own. I'd probably go back to my old way of doing it if someone doesn't make them and post them in the Facebook group for me. But I just used the spreadsheet they made that compared the different companies' colors to the Gina colors and then wrote them down on that so that when I was getting ready for the class, I could pull them out. This class had a lot of stamping and embossing and die cutting involved in the pre-class prep work. A few classes had absolutely nothing or just cutting your card bases. A few had just stamp and die cutting. Some had, I think most of them were just stamps, like just stamp and die cut these 5 things, or die cut 5 of these, or, cut your card base to this, and then cut a panel to this. This one was probably one of the more intensive ones, actually, to do to get ready with all of the embossing. But I am also not a massive fan of heat embossing. It is not my favorite thing to do. I struggle with it for some reason. I don't really know why. I had a phase a couple years ago where I was getting real confident with it and felt like I had a handle on it for the first time ever. But that phase has since disappeared. I'm back to being a little bit on the struggle bus, and you'll see it throughout this clip of me kind of starting to struggle with it. But part of that is probably because, one, my embossing pad broke. The pad just fell right out of the case. And that's fine. It's easy to fix. I glued it back in. It's all happy now. Then I discovered that my ink cube was dry, and I did not have the reinker for it, so that was annoying. But luckily this is about when it falls out, I think. It happened soon. It hasn't happened yet, because that's still the one that broke. Haven't switched to the other one yet. But eventually it will fall out. And I may have cut that out, but it's going on my Instagram. I saved it as to post as a blooper. A little blooper reel on Instagram of when my ink pad fell apart, because, it happens. It's easy to fix, though. So, there was all kinds of drama with the embossing for this one, but it's all good. It all worked out in the end. So that's kind of some of the stuff that you'd have to do. It's a lot of, cutting panels, or heat emboss this, or, stamp and heat emboss this, I should say, or stamp and die cut this, or, that kind of stuff, which is relatively easy to prep. It just sometimes takes a long time. This one, like I said, was probably one of the most, prep intensive classes that I remember from this one. The Gina K Designs one was a little bit tricky this time, but only because it was fun fold, so it wasn't as simple as cut your card base. It was the card bases had more specific instructions on how to cut them because they were fun folds. Spellbinders, I didn't prep the spell. There it was. It fell out. So see, I'm just going to glue it back in. This is how, I left this in here on purpose. You can see how to fix it. So if that happens, if your ink pad, ink cube, whatever, if the pad part falls out of the case, all you got to do is glue it back in. And I just use Connect Glue, and stick it back in there and then try to let it dry for a while, which is why I tried to use my Incube. And then this is what I use it, and I don't realize it's not working here because I had ink on there from the ink pad, but then I'll go to use it again and I'll just use the Incube, and I'll realize that it is in fact has no ink on it. Like, I could touch that ink pad and nothing happened with my fingers. So that was a problem. But luckily I didn't think I had a Versamark cube, because I knew I used to have one, but I couldn't find it. And I looked where it should be, and I still couldn't find it. But I had a Ranger embossing ink pad from a few Crop and Creates ago that we were sent. And I was really shocked I didn't get rid of it, but really glad I didn't, because it came in handy. But it does smell funky. I don't know if you guys, does anyone else use the Ranger embossing ink and think that it smells weird? It's not like bad smell, it just smells weird. But then last week I was in my craft room. Sorry, story time, distracted, but still. Last week I was in my craft room and I found my Versamark Incube. I had it the whole time. I found my Versamark reinker during the event, so I was like, oh, I must still have the Incube somewhere. Well, I found it way after I needed it, because I had since bought the Gina K Designs reinker to reink my Gina K Designs pad and cube. But that's where I'm going with this, is one tip I've learned about heat embossing that I feel like is very, very true, is that you should use a very, very juicy ink pad. So, like, re-ink your embossing ink pads a lot. I just bought that reinker, and I've probably used almost half the bottle already. Now, granted, I've done the ink pad and the ink cube. I ended up having to do the ink cube a few times because it was that dry. But yes, juicy embossing ink pads work. Somebody posted that in the Crop and Create group. They're like, hey, remember to ink up your embossing pads because juicy ink pads help. And I thought they were just like, now I want to say lying because that's not true, but I thought they were just like making stuff up. Which I guess is the same as lying, but like I don't know. I really just thought that was a joke, but it actually does make a difference, I've discovered. So, good to know. Good heat embossing tips, especially if you're like me and have a hard time with it. So, I think we're getting to the end here. Yeah, this is my last disaster of a attempt at embossing that didn't go well at all. How much of it not going well? I left all of it not going well. I was doing so well, and then these last 3 stamps came along, and we're just like, nope, no, we're not gonna work for you. So, yeah, that's it. So that gives you a little idea of kind of what the homework for these classes looks like. Like I said, I did pick a rather intensive one to show off, as far as, everything that takes to get involved, to get everything together. And remember, the homework, the pre-class work, the homework, they call it pre-class work because they think that homework is, kind of a scary word from when we were in school. But I was a nerd child who actually really enjoyed doing homework. Okay, not as a kid though. In college. When I was in college, I'd doing homework all day, every day. Because I was just a nerd like that when I was in college. When I was younger, homework wasn't as great. But when I was in college, I weirdly, strangely started to very much enjoy doing homework. I don't even know what to say about myself. I don't even know what that says about me or what to say about myself in regards to that one. But there you go. There you have it. So I don't mind doing the pre-class prep work. It makes me excited, actually. And it starts getting me hyped for the actual event. Sometimes the biggest thing is I have trouble stopping. Like, I'll go through the pre-class work and then I'll be like, but I want to keep going and finish the cards now that I've started them. That's usually my biggest problem when I'm working on the homework and the pre-class stuff for these events. So I'm rambling again and I don't really have much more to say. So, and we should be getting to the end here now that I'm getting these last couple small stamps figured out. So if you have questions on how I set up for these events and any of the homework, or if you're thinking about joining in on the next one, if you're worried about the prep work for it and want me to share my advice of how I handle it more than what I've talked about in the videos, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will answer it. And hello, update time. It is 2:30 now. I started at maybe 8 this morning and I'm halfway through Saturday. I did take a little break though, but I'm about to go eat lunch because I took a different break earlier. And yeah. So there's 6 classes left to do. I think I should for sure be able to finish Saturdays today. I don't know if I'll get any farther than that. But I have Monday and Wednesday this week that I can keep working on stuff. So I don't know. We'll see how much I get done for Sunday. And maybe I can make up somewhere. Or I'll have a class that just doesn't have a ton of homework to do. And then it'll be easy. So, and that'll make up, some of the time. But for sure we'll be done by Saturday. By the end of the day. I'll stop around 7 tonight. So I'm going to stop and eat lunch because I'm hungry. And then, yeah, that's that. So it's been going really good. And the box is getting full of all the goodies again now. And yeah, I don't know what else to really fill in here. So, yeah, I will check back in with you. I don't know when I'll check back in with you again. But I will eventually. It's Thursday night. It's the first official night of Crop and Create. So I didn't finish all my homework. I ended up not filming most of the last 2 days of doing homework just because I was trying to get as much done as I possibly could, and it was easier just not to film. And I almost did it. There's only one class on Sunday that I didn't get the homework done for, but it's the last class on Sunday. So I'm also kind of like, because it's the last one, if I don't necessarily keep up with the class, I'm not gonna be super upset about it. I'm just getting everything queued up on my TV and for tonight. So yeah, so I'm happy with what I got done at least. And then we're getting ready for the next one. I have dinner in the microwave, super exciting, frozen dinner, nothing special. I have to re-ink a couple ink pads before we get started. And I'm gonna set you guys up on the tripod again, I think, like I did for the unboxing video. And we're just gonna do class, and it's gonna be super fun. I'll show you the book, I'll show you which class we're doing tonight. So yeah, and if I have time, I might try to do some of the homework for that last class. What I'll probably try to do is fit it in between things where I can, and just see how much of it I can get done. I left it out so that I can do that. If and when I have time to do it. And obviously I didn't do any, there's 6 classes I didn't do any homework for, because I knew I wasn't going to be doing them live. So I decided that this time I would just not do those, especially because they're full classes and not mini classes. So it's not like, here's 2 quick cards you can make in between things. Because they're the full 3 card classes, they're not easy to pick up on in the middle of things. So yeah, that's it. My dinner should be almost done, so I'm going to eat, and I'm going to re-ink some ink pads, I'm going to show you this book, and then I'm going to put you up on the tripod so that we can get some footage, and I'll try to film some other stuff too as we go. And then, so this one and the wrap-up event, and I did watch the kickoff event this morning at work, at my desk while I worked. So I did catch that, and I'll probably do the same thing tomorrow. I watched a half of a class, just in the background while I worked on other things. I mean, I didn't have my stuff with me anyway, so it didn't matter. I wasn't gonna do the class with it anyway, but still, it was just fun to kind of slightly participate and just have it on in the background while I was getting some work done. And ironically, I got a lot of work done today, so that was good. It worked out well for me. So yeah, so that's it. I'm going to, again, just getting myself set up, and it's time to, really have fun with Crop and Create weekend. I'm so excited. I was telling everyone at work today, I was so excited. And if I finish these 3 cards tonight, I'm going to take them in tomorrow to show people. So, book so that I can go eat. Hello, Editing Sammy here, and yes, I am filming on my phone because my computer has decided that the microphone doesn't want to work for some reason, and I am very confused by it. But I ended this video in kind of an awkward spot, so I wanted to make sure that I kind of wrapped things up compared to some of the other vlogs, where even if I don't do an outro, like, they still have a relatively, like, ending to them. So I decided to cut this one here just because of the way things are, and then there's both Thursday's class and Friday's class can be their own separate vlog. I usually try to keep them around 30 minutes, which I know the last week's was longer than that, but this keeps it right around 30 minutes if I cut it here, and then we'll do Thursday and Friday together, and then Saturday and Sunday, because otherwise Friday ends up just by itself, and that's also really awkward. So this seemed like the best way to do it, but I just wanted to let you know kind of what I was thinking, and but yes, it is kind of a strange ending this time, but that's it. That's all I wanted to say. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see you again soon, and have a crafty day.